A few sprinkles and a high of 56, 66 inland. And tonight, mainly clear with a low of 46. Monday, chance of morning showers, breezy and warm. Chance of strong showers at night, high of 72, near the lake, and 78 inland. Tuesday, chance for showers in the morning, partly cloudy, sunny, breezy, falling temperatures at night, high of 68. And Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of at afternoon showers, high of 53. And Thursday, rain likely, high of 55. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And a very good Sunday morning to you. We have a very busy show ahead. Nazir was just talking about that storm that we're keeping an eye on, and we've got TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson with us. And Brendan, I know at Storm Team 4, you've been watching this very carefully. How does it look right now in terms of any effect on us?
Yeah, Libby, we are under that slight risk of severe weather along the lakefront, an enhanced level 3 risk of severe weather for tomorrow, a little bit farther inland away from Lake Michigan. So that includes Dodge, Jefferson, Waukesha, Walworth counties. And then if you get into southwestern and western Wisconsin, a rare level 4 moderate risk of severe weather. So really looking for maybe a few isolated showers, a couple rumbles of thunder in the morning. Then as we get into the afternoon, really kind of watching for maybe a few pop-ups, but I think the warm air aloft will keep everything suppressed. Really watching this line of strong storms for the late evening hours. That, I think, would be our best chance for some strong to severe storms.
Brenda, can you explain what an enhanced level 3 is, as well as a rare level 4?
Yeah, so essentially what we're talking about is that 5-level SPC, Storm Prediction Center risk level. So when you see the orange or level 3 enhanced, it means that we could have several strong to severe thunderstorms. So a lot more scattered in nature, so the coverage would be a little bit higher, and the confidence is a little bit higher. And we're also talking about stronger storms, so a little bit more in the way of hail, gusty winds in excess of 60 miles per hour, and the possibility for a few isolated tornadoes. When we go into the moderate risk, that means that we're expecting several strong to severe storms, potentially long track damaging tornadoes, very large hail, and potentially destructive winds. We're talking in excess of maybe 70 or even 75 miles per hour. So the storms that form tomorrow, especially out over eastern Minnesota, western Wisconsin, have the best chance of developing into those particularly destructive storms. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on all of this. The good news, Libby, is, we're closer to Lake Michigan. A lot of this activity will be weakening as it reaches us in the Milwaukee metro area. But I still do want folks on guard for that potential of strong, severe storms as we go into tomorrow evening.
And again, it's that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, the timing is late in the evening. So the best chance for us here in southeastern Wisconsin is going to be with a potential line of strong to severe storms, really getting into the area after sunset. So I'm talking post 6 or 7 o'clock into the very early morning hours of our Tuesday. Still some differences in the timing and ultimate evolution of this line, but that's our best chance. I want to backtrack just a bit into the afternoon. A lot of folks are just going to be looking up at maybe some sunshine. It's in the 70s, low 80s farther inland. There is a lot of warm air aloft that serves as a cap on our atmosphere, so it's going to be tough for storms to break through. If they do, which is possible, it's a small possibility, but if they do break through that cap in the afternoon, that's an immediate, we got to watch those storms like hawks because they will be capable of all types of severe weather. So a smaller chance in the afternoon, but something we still need to watch.
And I know you will keep an eye on it at TMJ4 with Storm Team 4. Brendan Johnson, it is always great to have you here.
You too, Libby. Take care. Thanks so much.
Have a great week. Thank you. It's 8:12 on WTMJ. Busy show this morning. We've got a lot coming up. People are still talking about the arrest of Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan. And it's all over national news, of course. And this morning, we're going to be speaking with defense attorney Julius Kim. with his reaction. And it's interesting because he's been before, he knows her, and I think you're going to find what he has to say very interesting. We're also going to be talking to a survivor of sexual assault about why Denim Day taking place on Wednesday is more important than ever. Were you in Green Bay for the draft this week? Well, we're going to wrap up the highlights with Milwaukee ESPN personality Alex Strofe. That's coming up in just a couple minutes. We'll also hear the NBC anchor who talked about the Pope's pickup truck. What? Okay, we'll look into that one. And also Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal is going to be joining us with news about the medical college becoming a national cancer center. Sandy Max is here with Sunday What's on Tap. She has a list of those must-sees at the Milwaukee Film Festival going on right now. Our consumer expert, Michelle Reinen, warns you about the risks of taking a check if you're selling a car online. We'll also take a look back at the week in review. Isaac Marquardt is here pushing those buttons. Nazir Spencer is in the newsroom. And in just 2 minutes, we're going to hear from ESPN's Alex Strofe about the NFL draft. He was there. He talked with Matthew Golden, and it's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
You'll find that the licensed and certified electricians from Quality are top-notch. We've been around for over 60 years, so expect nothing but the best. And here's the kicker. With over 60 vehicles out there on the roads, you're not going to have to wait very long at all for the electrical service you need now. This is Anthony Zanevsky. For all your residential electrical needs, call Quality.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Well, all eyes were on Green Bay this past week with the NFL draft taking place. And one of the people who were there was ESPN personality Alex Strofe. And he joins us right now. And Alex, you were there, especially on that first day when it was announced that Matthew Golden was the first-round pick for the Green Bay Packers. And you had the opportunity to talk with him before he was selected.
That's right, Libby. Yeah, I got to catch up with Matthew Golden Wednesday afternoon in Green Bay. Found out his favorite type of cheese is the Kraft Singles, so I think he's going to learn a thing or two over the course of the next couple of weeks as he gets acclimated to his new town. But what a week in Green Bay.
He actually said that to you.
Yeah, that's a real quote. I mean, I'm not making that up. Yeah. So he's going to have to check out a local cheese shop or something here in the next couple of weeks.
Get down to the Mars Cheese Castle. What else did you What else did you experience? Because it had to be so exciting to be right there in the midst of it.
Yeah, really got to experience quite a bit yesterday. It was more of a, I would say, a family day, right? A lot of kids and families coming out yesterday in Green Bay, but got to check out some of the different activations they had going on, whether it be some of their corporate partnerships or some of the cool things they were trying out, right? Like they had a supper club style activation there. They had a beer hall just on the grounds of the NFL draft, because while we are all there celebrating men who are getting new jobs, There was also plenty of other things to do. So it was really cool to see everything they had going on around the spectacle that is the draft.
Was your observation that most of the people who came were from Wisconsin, or do you think there were a lot of people who came from other cities?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both, right? Like I think a lot of people locally wanted to see it, right? Because it was the epicenter of the sports world this week, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, like we've been saying for months now, and it truly was that. So I think a lot of local people wrapped their arms around it, but definitely plenty of travelers as well, right? Lambeau Field is the mecca of stadiums in North American sports. So for out-of-town visitors that have never seen Lambeau Field or have never seen Green Bay, because it's such a unique sports market, it's the only NFL team that has houses literally next door to the stadium. So it was pretty cool to see other football fans wrap their arms around it too. I will tell you this, Libby, I was playing a game. It was my own personal game on Thursday, seeing how fast I could get all 32 jerseys represented and checked off my notes on my phone, and we were able to knock that out before the draft even started on Thursday. So representation for all 32 teams as well.
We're talking with Milwaukee ESPN personality Alex Strofe about the draft, and as you said, there were 8 young men who were selected for the team. We talked about Matthew Golden, but there were 7 other guys. What's your opinion?
Yeah, overall, I think you get to use the draft as a launching pad for the upcoming season. How can you elevate some of the position groups that maybe you want some more competition in come training camp in late July and early August? I was surprised to see the Packers go offense early and often, the first 3 picks, all on the offensive side of the ball, including a second wide receiver on day 2 on Friday. So clearly the team's signaling we want more out of our offense early, and then later just trying to add some depth, especially the defensive line. So all in all, it seems like it'll be a good weekend for the Green Bay Packers, but we truly won't know until the season starts in September. But it shows you, Libby, nothing is bigger than the NFL, because all eyes were on the Green Bay, the Packers, and the NFL draft this past week.
Alex, of those 8 individuals who were selected by the Packers, how many of them do you think will end up starting this year?
Oh, great question. I would guess probably just Matthew Golden. That second-round pick, Anthony Melton, the offensive tackle. Really interesting pick after the Packers went offensive tackle in the first round last year. It signals to me maybe they don't have as much belief in their first-round pick from a year ago as maybe you'd hope they do. So he might have an opportunity to play eventually, but I would guess come week 1, probably not a starter. So I would guess just Golden, but maybe I'll be wrong, and maybe they hit the jackpot in some of those later rounds.
What was your one last question, Alex? What was your favorite part of the draft, personally?
Being a Green Bay kid, Libby, growing up in Green Bay, just to see the best of my hometown on a national stage was really, really neat. I'm not necessarily the most sentimental guy, but I found myself looking around yesterday as the draft was coming to a close and just thinking to myself that we got Wisconsin's best this week. It was really cool to see for all the out-of-towners, the out-of-staters, the travelers, to have a true Wisconsin and Green Bay experience and have it on that stage. I think Green Bay knocked it out of the park. So I was feeling a little sentimental despite not being a very sentimental guy, but it was really cool to see Wisconsin's best come out from Green Bay, but also in some of the other cities, right? Milwaukee had a ton of visitors, Appleton had a ton of visitors.
Alex, unfortunately, we're having some problems with the reception on your line, but I know we can hear more on ESPN, as you are one of the hosts there, and it's always great to talk with you. Alex Strofe from ESPN Milwaukee. Thanks for joining us this morning. It's 8:21. We're coming back in just a couple minutes. We've got that forecast for you. As TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson was telling you, they're keeping an eye on a storm front that will be approaching tomorrow. We're going to tell you about that. And also, we've got Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal with us in just a couple minutes. And he has news about the Medical Center of Wisconsin. It's all ahead on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News, 8:21.
Don't think twice. Call Guy Geis. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
We didn't write the headline, the Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control. But not only that, regular care with Connect Chiro can bring back your energy. A lot of folks start with headaches, back pain, and shoulder pain. How quickly you see results varies from person to person, but time and repetition are the key to staying on track. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiro docs use a special tool for all your adjustments, targeted results, and a gentler experience. Check out the new location in Oak Creek or get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Well, we're going to be partly to mostly cloudy today with a few sprinkles. We'll get up to about 56 degrees near the lake and further inland, all the way to the mid-60s. Tonight, it'll be mainly clear, down to 46 degrees. Tomorrow looks like we've got a chance of showers in the morning. Then it's going to be breezy and warm. And that's where TMJ4 meteorologist warned you about those chances of late afternoon into evening strong storms. You'll want to keep it right here, and we'll tell you all about it. The high tomorrow, it's going to be around 72, but further inland, we could hit 80 degrees. Currently, we're looking at temperatures in the 40s around southeastern Wisconsin. In Oconomowoc, it's 44 degrees. Cedarburg has 44. Oak Creek's at 46, and it's 46 degrees at 8:24 on WTMJ. It's time to check in on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line with Timothy Gibbons, the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And boy, this has been a great week if you love the NFL and you love Green Bay and you love Wisconsin, because the crowds were even larger than they anticipated for the NFL draft, weren't they?
It was just a crazy number of people who showed up for that. High energy, the general vibe seemed to be good. Obviously, it's a big deal for Green Bay, but also a lot of impact on Milwaukee itself as the city tried to capitalize on just having all of those people here. I mean, even before the event, talking to people about the economic impact and the tourism impact from having just so many people come to this corner of the state is expected to have dividends.
Oh, my gosh. And just to see it on national TV, the entire city looked green.
Exactly. It's interesting seeing these big events. Green Bay has been fighting to get the draft for years. It's the smallest market to have it, smallest market just overall, so that kind of makes sense. But the idea of they had to do a lot of creative thinking. They had to put a lot of work into pulling off such a successful event. But by all accounts, it seems like it very much was a win for the area. And it's always interesting for us covering business to look kind of at the spin-off effects. So you have the vendors who made money and you have the hotels who love this sort of thing. And, that is a good thing for the weekend. The promise or the hope is kind of like the RNC or kind of like having any of these big events. You're bringing people here. They have a fun time. Maybe they come back. Maybe they, really enjoyed being in Green Bay, but they only got to come up to Milwaukee for a day. So maybe they plan another trip to explore the area more. So it will be interesting to see if this is another event that can be capitalized on going into the future.
All right, let's talk about capitalization. And that's happening in the city of Milwaukee, where they're going to use some public funds to spur some residential development?
Yeah, so this is a really fascinating story, and it gets a little bit into the weeds, so I'll sum it up really quick for listeners. But basically, one of the ways that the city can incentivize development is what's known as tax incremented financing. In a nutshell, it's basically if you picture a piece of property as generating X amount of property tax revenue, you improve it, now it generates X plus. So you take some of that plus and you devote that money to helping the development. You can do this in different ways. The money might go into public improvements. It might go directly to the developer. It might, help them pay off a loan, that sort of thing. So traditionally, the city of Milwaukee has used this type of financing in the residential space for lower income sort of projects for people making less than 60% of the area median income. What they've rolled out now is guidelines for projects that make between 60 and 100% of area median income. So if you're a family of four making about $100,000, which is median income in the area for a family of four, you can rent a certain type of apartment. Now those projects can go to the city and try to get this incentive money. So if you are a fan of more residential development, if you see a need for more residential development, this is the type of thing that can spur that. Developers have been pushing for it for a while. I will say that exactly what's been rolled out is not exactly what they've been looking for. It doesn't go quite as far as they were hoping, but it is a big step in that direction.
Another big step, and this kind of excites me, and that's the efforts of the medical college to become a national cancer center facility. Now, that's really big news in the medical field.
Yeah, it is. So all of this is based on their Center for Cancer Discovery. It's a $153 million project that is being built. That's been in the works for a while. It's an amazing facility. The amount of research space in there, the labs. One of the cool things for me as I look at the tours that we've done, it lets different types of researchers kind of be in proximity, so you don't have as much siloing. You can have the researchers kind of work together and share ideas and just collaborate more, which can really be helpful in that research field. So the Cancer Centers program, that goes back to like the 70s. It's a way that the Department of Health and Human Services helps fund this type of research. So having this designation opens up more funding opportunities, gives the center some opportunities that it would not have otherwise. There's 73 of these in the country. There's just one other one in Wisconsin, so this would be the second one in the state.
Very exciting news to watch very carefully. All right, another thing people are looking at carefully, a lot of employees locally for Quad Graphics, and this doesn't affect them necessarily personally, but it does affect the company.
Right. So Quad Graphics, which is a publicly traded company that does printing, is closing down one of its plants. It's in Michigan. So 72 workers there, not a huge workforce, but obviously any layoff can be very disruptive to an individual. This doesn't affect local workers, but it is a sign of the company contracting a bit, changing its focus a bit. I mean, as you can expect, the printing industry has obviously changed a lot over the years. Postal service rates have gone up. There's fewer things being printed. One of the big things that Quad does is inserts that go into newspapers, and God knows that you and I are very familiar with how the journalism industry has changed and just not as many of those newspaper inserts anymore. So they're closing that. It's one of a number of shutdowns the company has done as they kind of streamline and optimize what they're trying to do.
Have they changed their business model at all?
They have. They've actually started looking at printing some other things, particularly like promotional sort of items. So that's been more of a growth area where it uses similar technology. It builds very naturally on what they've done for years, but it opens up new markets for them.
All right, finally, it's a fun story. It's happening in Tosa. We've talked about it before. What's going on with that big Tosa troll?
Big Tosa troll. So you say the big Tosa troll. Do you know how much that weighs?
No.
It's going to be 2,000 pounds. That's an actual literal ton.
Oh, my gosh. That's as big as an elephant. That's like an elephant.
Yeah, exactly. It's 25 feet tall. It is going to be just an astounding thing to see. So, I mean, this might not seem like we joke about this sometimes in the office of, is that really a business story? And it's definitely an interesting story. But to me, the fascinating thing is already the city is getting calls from visitors who want to come to the city to see this troll. There's not a lot of them. It's being built by a sculptor in Denmark, I believe. But he'll be coming over here. He'll be building the head of this troll in his workshop in Denmark, shipping it over, building the rest here on site in Tosa as part of this new park that the city of Wauwatosa is opening on May 28th.
Think of the selfie opportunities once it's finished.
It's going to be like the Bean in Chicago, where, any of those just iconic spots where people show up just to take pictures because it looks good on social media, and it's just kind of a cool thing.
I think it really is. Timothy Gibbons, editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. It is always a pleasure to have you here.
It was great to talk to you.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Public service, courage, bravery, sacrifice. These are terms used to describe those who work in public safety who go above and beyond each and every day of their lives. If you have a police officer, dispatcher, fire professional, or an emergency nurse who impacted your life, in May we'll honor the best examples of paying it forward, sharing the tremendous stories of these local heroes. Nominate your local hero at WTMJ.com. Click on the Salute to Service banner at the top, or by texting SALUTE to the Siding Unlimited talk and text line.
It's Steve Scaffidi's Salute to Service, presented by Waterstone Bank.
Just a little bit late. Nizer Spencer's here with us. Good to see you, Nizer. You're going to find out that happens on Sunday mornings a lot. It's 8:33, and you're in the Breaking News Center with news about a woman who went AWOL.
Yes, thanks, Livy. Back in custody after going AWOL, the Madison Police Department arrested 45-year-old Valerie Chekbatar Friday night after she was reported absent without leave from the jail diversion program. Our partners at WISC TV reported that Chekbatar was serving a 5-month jail sentence with Huber privileges. She was also charged in March with 7 counts of misdemeanor retail theft. Chekbatar is now back in the Dane County Jail. A man from Union Grove faces child sexual enticement charges. Mount Pleasant police received a tip from Bupax Promise, a nonprofit that protects children from online predators. 41-year-old Stephen LeChance was arranging to meet who he believed was a 14-year-old girl for sex. LeChance now faces 5 felonies, including child sexual enticement, using a computer to facilitate a child sex crime, and causing a child to view sexual activity. Cash bond is set at $10,000. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic on I-40, 143, 894 west at Loomis Road North. The 2 right lanes are still blocked due to a crash. It isn't backed up anymore as much as it was earlier. The police and fire department are clearing that up. 1 lane is still open, and it seems to be flowing pretty well. Just be mindful going on that interstate that the police and fire department are still working through that. Otherwise, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy and a few sprinkles with a high of 56 near the lake and 66 inland. Tonight, mainly clear and low of 46. Tomorrow, chance of morning showers and with a breeze and warmth, and chance of afternoon strong storms, and high 72 near the lake and 78 inland. Right now in Oshkosh, it's 45 degrees. In New Berlin, it's 46, and in Milwaukee, it's 44 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:36.
Thanks a lot, Nazir. And in just 2 minutes, it's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica,
remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue in Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Who's hungry? Mark your calendar April 19th through the 27th for Lake Geneva Restaurant Week. This culinary adventure showcases dozens of the area's top restaurants, serving up exclusive breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus at unbeatable savings. From casual cafes to elegant fine dining, the choices are endless as we celebrate Lake Geneva's amazing dining scene. Check out participating restaurants, menus, and all the tasty details at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, it's always been the place for distinctive dining.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters for your home or your business. They came out and did the exterior of our house. The team walked around the entire house with me, pointed out a couple spots that I needed some extra work done. I didn't even realize it. The team's at CertaPro. They've got your back. Call and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. It's CertaPro Painters, the best in the business. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. It's CertaPro Painters. Took care of me, they'll take care of you. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
And welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. Libby Collins. Well, it has been a very busy week. Started it with the Catholic community mourning the loss of Pope Francis. The NFL draft kicked off in Green Bay, and we had a major arrest in Milwaukee County. Oh, boy, what a week right there. But there was more. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by the Easter Bunny.
Happy Easter and enjoy your lives.
And there's always that full-size guy in the bunny costume who stands next to the president.
Greg hates the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, it's just deep wounds from when I was a kid, Scott. The Easter Bunny freaks me out. I've surprised him. I just doesn't everybody else have a thing?
No objection here. I was just processing it.
Fair enough.
The bell at St. Peter's Basilica tolling amid news that Pope Francis has died. The Pope last seen Easter Sunday blessing the faithful from the balcony of St. Peter's.
Buonasera.
Few expected a pope who would so radically transform the face of the papacy.
He celebrated Easter with the faithful, and now he celebrates Easter in heaven.
He was a good man, worked hard. He loved the world.
There was a humanity about Pope Francis that you couldn't help but love because he simply cared about people.
Bucs guard Damian Lillard tells reporters he will play tonight in Game 2 of the playoffs.
I'm going to give everything that I got. I'll just build from there.
This is Lillard with his foot on the line, but he sinks it anyway. That's good to get his rhythm going, at least, if nothing less.
It's all Crown Fire. North flank is Crown Fire.
Parts of the Garden State Parkway shut down, smoke obscuring the roadway, and more than 1,300 buildings threatened, including a former nuclear plant.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale.
How does one remove an abandoned boat bogged down with sand and water weighing an estimated 25,000 pounds?
We have to create a lake around it.
To have, a nuisance like this on the beach is not a good look for Milwaukee.
A ceremonial tree planting marks the spot where hundreds of Abundant Life Christian School students were reunited with family after a deadly mass shooting in December.
Katie Garno is the clinic manager. She says the team of providers didn't hesitate in their care.
As soon as we knew, then it was kind of an all hands on deck.
And those healthcare workers, much like the ALCS community, are still recovering from that day.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's foundation has withdrawn program funding from the Milwaukee Muslim Women's Coalition over concerns regarding pro-Palestinian views expressed in an op-ed written by Janine Najib.
The question is, what are their guidelines? They never set any guidelines.
Tonight is the night in Green Bay. Months of preparation, years in fact, thousands flocking to Titletown for the 2025 NFL Draft.
Approximately 250,000 fans are expected to be on hand when the 3-day NFL Draft kicks off at Lambeau Field.
As NFL fans begin to arrive, business owners outside the Titletown district, like Titletown Brewing Scott Kraft, tell us they're hoping for a good turnout.
I'm a little cautious right now. I think we're going to get a good crowd. Hopefully it'll be a Packer game on steroids.
Jones is confident his new team still has the Packers number.
Aaron, are you going to beat us twice this year?
I hope so.
I say Green Bay, you say Packers. Green Bay. Packers. Green Bay. Packers. Go. Pack, go.
It felt like a zoo here for the first day of the NFL Draft.
Chicken tenders, chicken wings, NFL Draft.
I am in our former yard. Now, where I park today, oh my gosh, over $100 a car.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, for the first time since 2002, draft a wide receiver.
They took Golden.
Wow! There it is.
Hey, I'm finna bring that energy, man. I'm glad to be here. It's a blessing. Hey, let me get a Green Bay 3. 1, 2, 3.
Absolute cinema.
We have some breaking news just into the 620 WTMJ Breaking News Center. Adam Roberts joining us with them.
Milwaukee County Judge Hannah Dugan has been arrested at the Milwaukee County Courthouse.
Live outside the federal courthouse in Milwaukee, where a small group of protesters have gathered following the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan.
An FBI complaint alleges Judge Dugan knew ICE agents were prepared to arrest a defendant in her courtroom. Federal agents say she sent that man and his attorney through the jury room.
Judge, anything to say about this?
What a week, eh?
Go on, Tony.
Enjoy your lives.
Take care and goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And that's the Weekend Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. I'm Libby Collins. It's 8:43 and 46 degrees at WTMJ.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Imagine trying to take on one of the big car companies. It's not easy. Yet recently, one local law firm finalized the largest compensatory verdict in state history against an automaker, over $38 million. And it was no fluke. That same firm has been holding big car companies accountable for faulty designs that cause injury for over 50 years. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin, the best in the area. They're going to take care of you big time. You want to play pickleball. You want to golf. You want to play with your grandkids in the front yard and do it with no pain. Go to the place that has the highest patient satisfaction ratings and the top doctors in the area. It's Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. I've met the docs. I've walked through the hospital. It's absolutely incredible. They're going to take great care of you from beginning to end. Go to OHOW.com, hit the request an appointment button. OHOW.com, request an appointment.
First class isn't as cheap as Coach, and you can't buy Prada for a Fruit of the Loom price.
But while they last, you can buy high-end Beautyrest Black and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hassellus Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These are the best of the best, and now you can get them for way less. Like a Beautyrest Black LX Hybrid was $3,599, but now it's just $971. Or a Sealy Posturepedic Golden Acres Pillow Top was $1,093, but the floor model is just $546. Visit any employee-free Hassellus showroom and test your favorite floor model without salespeople breathing down your neck. You won't find these mattresses priced this low anywhere else. It's like buying a Lamborghini for $10,000 just because it sat on the showroom floor. Only a few floor models are available at each Hassellus mattress location, and when they're gone for good. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
It's time to check in on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line with our consumer expert, Michelle Reinen from DATCap. And okay, we're hearing a lot about cars and tariffs, and I know a lot of people are buying and selling, and it seems like there are more and more people who are using online ways to do it. Michelle, tell us what we need to be watching for, because some people are being taken advantage of when they're selling their cars online.
Yes, these individuals need to be aware that they may be targeted by fake check scammers. These scammers send a message to people listing their cars for sale on peer-to-peer sales platforms, the consumers do, and like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. And then the scammer pretends to be interested in buying the vehicle, and they claim they're not local and can't examine the car in person right away, but they offer to send the seller a check as a deposit to hold the car for them. Now, this check sender says that they accidentally overpaid and asked the consumer to send the extra money back to them. Now, if they trust that the check will deposit, which often it looks though it has, they may return the difference to the scammer, and that fake check will weeks later show to be fraudulent, and those funds will be removed from the consumer's account balance by the bank because the check was not legitimate, and the consumer will be out that overpayment amount that they've sent to the scammer, which really is just their own money.
So what do you need to know then if you are going to sell your car online and take a check for it?
Well, first, don't accept a check for more than the selling price, especially out of the blue. If you have a negotiation going on between some parties that you know and trust, that's different. But if someone sends a check for more than the selling price and asks for money to be sent back to them, that's a scam. And then never send money to anyone who says that they overpaid by check. Never use money from a check that was sent to you until you know it has completely cleared the bank. You've waited days, weeks, and you can confirm with the bank that the check is cleared, because that could likely be your own money that you are sending out. And really, if you are doing sales online, consider using an escrow or online payment service when you sell a car. This protects both the buyer and the seller to be sure you're both getting what you're paying for.
Now, I understand that at DATCap, you have been contacted by at least one consumer who ended up buying a car that was stolen. What happened there?
Yeah, this was through Facebook Marketplace. It came with a convincing but fraudulent title. And so there it's, again, just an individual trying to sell the vehicle and making misrepresentations. So whenever making a purchase as significant as a vehicle, consumers need to verify that the other party in the transaction is legitimate. And the best way to do that is meeting in person, face-to-face at a secure location, maybe a public parking lot at a highly populated area, or even a local police department's parking lot, just to be sure that transaction is smooth and all paperwork is legitimate.
And finally, Michelle, if you think you're being taken advantage of, who do we call?
Call DATCap's Consumer Protection Hotline, 1-800-422-7128.
Earlier this morning, TMJ4 meteorologists told us there's potential for severe weather across the Midwest tomorrow. There will be strong to severe storms across Minnesota, Iowa, and western Wisconsin, and the Milwaukee area has been included in the slight and enhanced risk for severe weather, so you want to keep an eye on that. Today, on the other hand, looks pretty good. Partly to mostly cloudy with a few sprinkles. We're going to get up to about 65 degrees inland and 56 near the lake. Currently, we have 47 degrees at 8:51 on WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ. Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week, Marcus and Chris give playoff reactions on the pod. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Thinking about curb appeal? A few changes can make a huge difference in your yard. I got the difference maker for you. Landworks Wisconsin. They specialize in bringing your landscaping dreams to life. They did that in our yard. From refreshing your existing gardens to creating entirely new outdoor environments, they did both those things for us. Think gorgeous new plantings, inviting pathways, expertly designed spaces to relax and entertain. Don't wait. Call Landworks or visit landworkswisconsin.com. Let's make your yard the envy of the neighborhood.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
And it's time for Sandy Max and Sunday What's on Tap. And boy, is it an exciting week around Milwaukee. Of course, we just had the NFL draft, but I don't want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the Milwaukee Film Festival, because I am in awe at some of the films that are going to be shown over the next week.
Libby, it's the 17th year of the Milwaukee Film Festival, bringing hundreds of films to screens around the city, from Wisconsin-made films to films from all around the world. And whether you like feature films or you dig animation or you want to see short films that are really creative, and kids films, like there is really something for everybody to have a cinematic adventure that you really can't regularly get. This really is a celebration of film.
Well, let's celebrate with one of my favorites, and yours too, the Beatles. There is a film about John and Yoko that I don't think anybody is even aware of of what went around with what their documentary is.
And yeah, you and I are massive Beatles fans. This is one of the films that jumped out at me of the over 200 films, because you got to know that as soon as the film festival program comes out, I am that person who gets out the highlighter and the Sharpie and circles as many as I can, and I can try and get to as many as I can, but I put stars next to One John and Yoko, and it will be screening next Saturday and Thursday, May 8th, because this is 2 weeks of film. So I hate to tell people about something and then go, oh, well, you missed it. It was last Saturday, So John and Yoko, I mean, how deep have you dug into that relationship?
Well, it's not only that, but isn't this documentary about the one and only full-blown concert that John did after he left the Beatles?
Yeah, Madison Square Garden, the one-to-one benefit concert. And I feel like I've seen parts of it on PBS before, but this is really going to explore that night, August 30th, 1972. And it's not just, kind of behind-the-scenes cinema verite. It is the 18 months that John and Yoko were in Greenwich Village in the 70s. So what a time capsule of seeing what New York was in that creative culture in Greenwich Village, and then leading up to that Madison Square Garden concert.
Definitely one I'm interested in. And speaking of music and the record business, this title jumped out at me, Death and Taxes. And it's about somebody who actually was in the recording business.
Yeah, and things you can't avoid. Isn't that immediately what the title came to mind for you? But yeah, a record company CEO wanted to, pass along all of his inheritance, but avoiding taxes. So it's a kind of a case study in America's history of tax benefits for the wealthy. And so it explores that subject matter through this documentary film, which you have to think has a lot of entanglements and complex things. So to have an understanding of taxes in entertainment, I think is really cool.
But what's really interesting is it's the son of the guy who was avoiding taxes, so he could
who's directing the film,
could inherit the wealth. Yeah, and he's the one who's bringing this to life. So that's what I definitely want to see.
And
Another one.
Well, I was just going to say the other great thing about the Milwaukee Film Festival is the access to the filmmakers themselves. So there are a lot of times where when you go to a film, the filmmaker will be there. So if you go see Death and Taxes on Thursday, Justin Shine is there. You can ask him even more questions after you watch his documentary. And that happens a lot at the Milwaukee Film Festival, where you get to do a Q&A with the filmmakers.
Well, I don't know if this filmmaker is going to be around, but I love the title of this movie. How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies.
Well, you're on the inheritance trick.
I am. I'm into money. What can I say?
This is a Thailand film. And so it's so funny. That is one of the things when you see films from around the world, they can transport you to places that you may never, ever go in real life. So take a trip to Thailand, but for basically a comedy that is the grandson trying to make sure he's in good with the grandma. But it seems like, based on this description, grandma's not having it.
Yeah, which I love. I love that concept. All right, so I have to ask you this. There's a little bit of, obviously, Wisconsin they're showing. And as we started talking about the NFL draft, that makes you think of Green Bay. It makes you think of Packers fans. Tell us about this film, Green Blah.
Oh, music. Green Blah is the history of Green Bay punk rock.
What?
Exactly.
It's not football?
No.
I thought it was football.
No, it is about punk rock. And turns out Green Bay, whether you knew it or not, had a real hardcore punk rock scene. And a lot of local bands, and kind of going through this rebellious musical side of Green Bay. So more than just football. Got some thrashing music, and that is going to be on Wednesday at the Oriental Theater. Green Blah, the history of Green Bay punk rock. But I like that this movie falls into two categories. Because there are 200 films, it's like, how do you choose? And the Milwaukee Film Team are great at putting these movies into categories to help you kind of narrow down and figure out what you want to see. So this is in the Cream City Cinema category, which is all Wisconsin-made films, and also the Sound Vision category, which also has the John and Yoko film, also has a film about the Black Keys, a film about Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive called Taking Care of Business. It really, so if you're a music fan, you've got films to gravitate towards.
All right, now this played last night. I have to ask you, as a child of the 80s, why did they select Desperately Seeking Susan, which was the film that Madonna made her debut in?
Yeah, Madonna, Aidan Quinn, Rosanna Arquette. It had a good cast. And I saw it in the theaters when it came out as a young one. 40th anniversary of the film. And Susan Seidelman, who directed the film, also directed some of the very early Sex and the City episodes, including the pilot. She wrote a book about her experience directing last year. So she was here yesterday, Susan Seidelman, signing books, and then there for a screening of Desperately Seeking Susan, which I'm sure you can probably find it on streaming. But again, to see films that were created in the 80s, well before anybody thought you could watch a film on a device as small as your cell phone. These are movies made to be seen on the big screen. And it's another time capsule of 80s New York, because I remember them going thrifting in the movie. And just think of all the cool things you see in a thrift store in New York in 1984, 85.
And if you only had them today.
I know.
All right. Now, all right. So the Milwaukee Film Festival is going on until May 8th. I know you're going to go to a lot of the films over the next several days, but you're also featuring a lot of filmmakers on your show.
Yeah, I'm excited. Noah Meister is director of a local film called All That Glitters, and it sounds like a fun adventure. It's about young people and a drug deal that goes wrong, but dancing at clubs. But he's got an interesting story, because Noah Meister, they filmed it in 3 weeks, but it took 3 years to make the movie. So just interesting to hear that creative process. So I'm excited to welcome Noah to What's on Tap this week. And also another film is called 25 Cats from Qatar.
What?
And it is based on Sip and Purr Cafe that used to be just around the corner from the Oriental, now just moved to Brady Street. But Sip and Purr Cafe, the owner went on a jaunt to Doha, Qatar, and brought back 25 cats.
We didn't have enough cats in Milwaukee?
Well, these cats needed. This is why you go, to learn. Why would you go to Qatar to bring 25 cats back? That documentary, and I'll have the director of that film and also the owner of Sip and Purr Cafe in on What's on Tap this week as we celebrate the variety of films. Hey, there's even Nosferatu, that 100-year-old horror film that is going to be on the screen at the Oriental Theater. Pretty much, you're seeing a film that was created at the time the Oriental Theater was built.
Are they going to have the live organ?
And the orchestra. No, they're going to have a live orchestra playing to the silent film of Nosferatu. So I'm telling you, there are all sorts of experiences. mkefilm.org is where you can browse the films.
And every night here, Sandy Max with What's on Tap on WTMJ. Thanks for joining us today, Sandy.
Thanks, Libby.
It's 9:01. We're running just a couple minutes behind, but Nasir Spencer is going to be here with you in news in just a moment. And coming up after the news, the Pope's pickup truck? Oh, we'll explain it. It's all I had on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often, because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
The Bucks keep the momentum going at home to even the score with the Pacers.
Corkscrews down the lane, sheds the defender and sends it down with a ferocious one-hand slam and puts on that mean mug.
Our Game 4 coverage starts tonight at 8 on your home for the Milwaukee Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 45 degrees in Milwaukee. Today, 55 degrees and partly cloudy tonight with a low of 47 and mostly clear from WTMJ Breaking News Center. I'm Nazir Spencer. The community of Vancouver heartbroken this morning after a car struck revelers at a street festival.
We saw people on the road crying. Others were like running, shouting, or even screaming. Asking for help. So we tried to go there just to check what was really actually happening until we saw some bodies on the ground.
The 30-year-old suspect was taken into custody at the scene, and while police say they don't believe it was an act of terrorism, they say the suspect was known to police. Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan appeared before a federal judge Friday morning on 2 felony counts of obstruction. The FBI arrested Dugan over allegedly helping undocumented immigrant Eduardo Flores Ruiz evade arrest when ICE agents tried to arrest him earlier this month. Protesters gathered outside of the downtown federal courthouse. Political director of the Wisconsin Working Families Party, Maxwell Love, tells WTMJ.
The Trump administration is trying to strike fear in the heart of local elected officials who are defending our immigrant communities, and that's absolutely not okay. So we're here today to say that we will not rest until Judge Dugan, these charges are dropped, and that the Trump administration admits the mistake that they made, just like Kash Patel took that tweet down this morning.
Judge Dugan's arraignment is set for May 15th. Trump administration funding cuts hit the Medical College of Wisconsin.
So far, a loss of about $5 million in research grants. President and CEO of the Medical College of Wisconsin, Dr. John Raymond.
There's a real prospect that we and others will not only need to redirect research, but also shrink our research enterprise.
The medical college has already frozen some hiring and halted development of a new physician assistant program.
For every dollar of NIH funding that comes into the state, there's an economic impact of eightfold in the community.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:06.
Sponsored by AccuNet Mortgage.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Homebuyer Helper Brian Wickert. One of our senior loan consultants recently helped their first-time homebuyer client win over 13 other offers. Of course, it was a team effort with their buyer's agent, and it centered around helping our clients understand what little difference there was to their monthly payment to offer over the asking price. And again, what little difference it would make to give the sellers peace of mind that they'd still buy even if the appraisal came in up to $20,000 short. But that's not all. Our consultant also texted and called the listing agent to reinforce how well qualified our buyers were and that they could, in fact, still close even if the appraisal came in low. Your AccuNet consultant will help you understand your options so you can decide how aggressive you want to be. Then we do everything possible to help you win. Don't let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Know your options and get your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala. Nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers lose to the Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis, losing 6-5. You can hear them today later against the Cardinals again at 1:15 here on 620 WTMJ. The Bucks won their first game of the playoffs at home on Friday against the Pacers, winning 117-101. The Bucks play the Pacers again tonight at 8:30 p.m. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Rent from I-41, 894 south to I-43 south. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. It seems as if officials or police officers are on the scene now and trying to make sure everyone is safe. It doesn't seem to be blocking any traffic, just a mindful kind of thing going on that ramp if you are to be mindful of people outside of their cars. Otherwise, there's no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, mostly cloudy. A few sprinkles of the high of 56 near the lake, 66 inland. Tonight, mainly clear, low 46. And Monday, chance of morning showers, breezy and warm throughout the day. Chance of PM showers, strong showers, and a high near the lake, 72 and 78 inland. And in Madison, it is 48 degrees. In Green Bay, 50. In Waukesha, 47. In Milwaukee, 45 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:10.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And welcome back to Hour 2. You know, I've had a lot we're talking about this morning. Obviously, earlier we had Milwaukee ESPN's Alex Strofe. We were talking about the NFL draft. Big news this week. A little bit later on this hour, we're going to be talking with defense attorney Julius Kim about the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan. And that is still in the news. But one thing that has been bothering me since I saw it yesterday. Now, I am a lifelong Catholic. Went all through Catholic school. So, I mean, and I'm a practicing Catholic. So, watching the Pope and the funeral was a big deal for me, right? So, I didn't get up at 3 o'clock to watch it. I recorded it. So, a little later on in the morning, I turned it on. I watched the Mass, which was very moving and obviously paid great tribute and homage to the Pope. And then they had the procession going through the streets. Now, I found that really interesting because I was in Rome just last year. So, I mean, those streets are kind of familiar to me. I sort of remember them nicer. Yeah. And, you know, where the Colosseum is and going over the bridge from Vatican City and everything. So I thought, oh, this is really interesting. And I had Channel 4 on. So I was watching NBC News. And Craig Melvin was the anchor. And as they're talking about the Pope going from St. Peter's Square to the Basilica, which was like 3.7 miles away, they had all these on-the-scene reports, and they had the transport of the Pope. And this is what Craig Melvin kept saying about it.
It really is striking that right now, watching that pickup truck carry the casket of Pope Francis.
Hold on a minute. The Pope's pickup truck?
Pickup truck, huh?
Yeah. And he didn't say it once. I mean, he said it a
like
number of times. Oh, the Pope's pickup truck. Oh, there goes the Pope's pickup truck. Oh, look, it's the Pope's pickup truck. And I'm thinking to myself, do you not pay attention?
Right.
I mean, just last Sunday, the Pope was in St. Peter's Square in the Pope-mobile.
Yeah, Pope-mobile on Easter, yeah.
Yeah, this is clearly the Pope-mobile. And he's calling it the Pope's pickup truck. So this went on for several minutes. I thought, okay, where's this going? And then finally, and this is interesting because the other anchors that were there were Tom Lamas and Ann Thompson. And Ann Thompson, I know for a fact, is a very devout practicing Catholic because she belongs to the same parish where somebody that I know quite well was also a member and knew her quite well. And nobody's correcting Craig Melvin talking about the Pope's pickup truck until finally Tom Llamas said this.
Something else that we've learned here, when we were looking at the Pope's pickup truck, it's funny, Ann and I were talking and we said it resembles a Dodge Ram, but then our crack assignment desk went into it and they looked into it. It's actually a Mercedes-Benz. And I told Ann, I said, I didn't know Mercedes-Benz made a pickup truck. And Ann, what did you say?
I said for him. And it turns out it's all electric, so that's in keeping with Laudato Si, his encyclical on the environment. And it's also actually not a pickup truck. It's the Pope-mobile.
It's the Pope-mobile, people.
Oh my gosh!
Pope-mobile.
Listen to that. It's the Pope-mobile.
It sure is.
So just another indication of not everything you hear on network news is actually accurate. All right. Thank you very much, Nazir. Good to have you here this morning. Oh, we've got more ad. I can't wait to talk to defense attorney Julius Kim about the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan. That's coming up in about 15 minutes right here on WTMJ. It's 9:14. Oh, we are keeping an eye on weather this morning as well, because as TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson told us, the Milwaukee area has been included in a slight and enhanced risk for severe weather tomorrow. Now, today is going to be okay. It's going to be partly cloudy, mostly cloudy. Might get a few sprinkles out there. Temperature's pretty mild, mid-50s near the lake. Go further inland, mid-60s. Then clear tonight, down to 46. Tomorrow, though, that's the day we're watching with showers in the morning. It'll be breezy and very warm with a chance of some strong storms late in the day, 72 near the lake, and about 80 degrees further inland. Right now, it's 49 degrees at 9:15 on WTMJ.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Jim Token, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. At a member, new car dealers have factory-warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are as low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
We didn't write the headline, the Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. A messy play put Sal Frelick and Caleb Durbin on the bench after the fifth inning as the Brewers fell 6-5 after a solo home run from the Cardinals in the bottom of the ninth. The Brewers try to break their four-game losing streak in St. Louis this afternoon. Dom Catronio starts our coverage at noon with Brewers warm-up. And things are looking up for the Milwaukee Bucks with a comeback Friday night against the Pacers. It's Game 4 tonight at Fiserv. You can hear the game tonight at 8 o'clock here on WTMJ. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
I'm disappointed.
Why is that?
Your hat's on forward. You didn't turn it backwards.
Oh, but I still did an okay sportscast there.
Yeah, you did. It's 9:18, 49 degrees at WTMJ.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Caleb Durbin beats it out. It's an infield single in his first major league at bat.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Catronio after every game.
Maybe Caleb Durbin's the guy that is that spark plug. I love that comp, that David Eckstein comp. I mean, quite frankly, he could bench press David Eckstein. Got that upper body build. He swings hard, pulls the ball.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I'm the football guy, definitely not the outdoor home projects guy. So when it comes to things like deck building, Excel Custom Decks is the true go-to expert. Family owned and operated, Excel Custom Decks uses the finest materials and products and combines that with superior craftsmanship. If you want your outdoor area to shine this summer, contact Excel Custom Decks now. Whatever you dream up for that perfect deck, pergola, or outdoor kitchen, Rob and his family can build it. Excel Custom Decks, decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com today.
A Rolex isn't as cheap as a Casio, and you can't buy a gold bar for the price of a candy bar. But while they last, you can buy high-end Beautyrest Black and Sealy Posturepedic mattresses for nowhere near high-end prices. Hassellus Mattress is clearing out a handful of premium floor models. These are the best of the best, and now you can get them for way less. Like a Beautyrest Black LX Hybrid was $3,599, but now it's just $971. Or a Sealy Posturepedic Golden Acres Pillow Top was $1,093, but the floor model is just $546. Visit any employee-free Hassellus showroom and test your favorite floor model without salespeople breathing down your neck. You won't find these mattresses priced this low anywhere else. It's like buying a Lamborghini for $10,000 just because it sat on the showroom floor. Only a few floor models are available at each Hassellus mattress location, and when they're gone for good. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hassellus.com.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
April is Global Volunteer Month.
Find the perfect volunteer opportunities for you at volunteerwisconsin.org or contact your local United Way or Volunteer Center today. VolunteerWisconsin.org is hosted by United Way of Wisconsin and Serve Wisconsin. Paid for by United Way of Wisconsin.
The following is a paid presentation. Advice and opinions expressed during the Sunday Sip are solely that of the hosts or guests and not WTMJ Radio or Good Karma Brands Milwaukee, LLC.
Welcome to Sunday Sip. I'm Steve Scafidi, host of Point Taken, but today we're talking about Capri Senior Living Communities. Katie Cornell, she's from Ceriso at Grace Commons, Community Relations Manager. Welcome to the Sunday Sip.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me about Ceriso at Grace Commons.
Yes, so Ceriso at Grace Commons is a senior living community that's located in Menominee Falls. We have 38 duplex homes that are side-by-side on campus, and then also 16 fourplex homes that are side-by-side on campus. These are all centrally located around a beautiful clubhouse, and it really is a senior living community for those that want to downsize, move on, and begin to enjoy life because it's all maintenance-free living.
So I was going to ask you, what prompted that move to Ceriso? Was there something specific from Capri?
Great question. So by 2030, 1 in 5 people will be over the age of 65. So this community was really designed for those people. Again, it's a way for them to simplify their lives, enjoy maintenance-free living, and we have a very active and social community, so it's a lot of fun.
I love the word active because I know Capri and Ceriso, they think about that word all the time and all the ways you can think about it. So let's talk about some of the things that maybe the clubhouse offers or the activities that are provided. Our
clubhouse is amazing. It's beautiful to begin with. When you walk into the clubhouse, we have a fitness center, and that includes a golf simulator.
Wow.
For all the people that want to continue to improve their golf game
That's
over
state
winter,
of the art.
This is a place to do it.
No kidding.
In the back, there's a beautiful covered patio that overlooks a pond, and we have a pickleball court back there. And everyone knows all the rage is pickleball, right?
I think I want to live there.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
It really is beautiful.
So you've taken the concept and just blown it out. You're doing everything that everyone's talking about now when it comes to fitness and active activity.
And you know what? Our residents have loved it.
So for people who are interested in Ceriso Homes, what are we talking about on a month-to-month rental basis? What's the starting price?
So the starting price on those is going to be $34.60 per month. It is important to note that they're rental homes and that it's a month-to-month lease, so residents aren't locked into a long-term lease. We actually do have a really great summer promotion going on right now, so if people are interested in moving in, now is the time to do it. If you secure a home by June 1st, you get half off your rent for the months of June, July, and August.
I want to do this a couple times. How can people find out about Ceriso?
Yes, please visit our website or feel free to call us in the office. We'd love to give you a tour. Our number there is 262-252-9600.
Katie Cornell joining us on the Sunday Sip on 620 WTMJ. She's Community Relations Manager at Ceriso at Great Commons, of course, part of the big umbrella of Capri Senior Living Communities. What's the biggest misconception people have when they talk about moving to a place like this? You guys got everything going on, but what's a question that people ask you?
Well, absolutely. You know, one of the things that people always say to me when they walk in is, this doesn't smell like I thought it would smell.
I didn't see that one coming.
Because honestly, it is a vibrant, active community. Our residents love being there. They love being in the common spaces, doing things. They love hanging out our bar in our main building. It really is a very active group of people.
So for people who don't know, where are you located? What part of the community?
We're on the north side of Menominee Falls off of County Line Road. And then the Ceriso neighborhood is actually on our campus. Our campus is 39 acres, so you can imagine how beautiful it is. And the Ceriso neighborhood is on that campus, but in a little bit of a separate area.
I was going to ask you about the outdoors element. You mentioned pickleball courts. I assume those are outdoor.
Yes.
What else can you offer sort of the person who wants to still have that part of their life?
Wonderful walking paths, all of the nature. We have so much wildlife. People really enjoy that. Trees. It's just a very green space. Our landscaping is phenomenal.
Katie, you're a long time from being old enough to probably...
I wish that was true.
What is the age requirements?
So we take seniors, so age 55 and older.
Okay. So when I think about Ceriso or Capri, I mentioned it before, the active part. Are there other things, other activities you do that take you beyond those living opportunities?
Oh, absolutely. We have activities both on campus and off campus. But really, you know, we find that our residents enjoy being on campus a lot because these homes are so beautiful. They're 2 full bath, 2 bedroom, 2 car garage. I mean, they're absolutely stunning side-by-side duplexes.
I was going to ask you about that, the specifics of it. We see so much about the new ways to live and enjoy one's residence. At Ceriso, what does that look and feel like?
So it's all the modern amenities in the kitchen area. So we have granite countertops, soft close cabinetry, stainless steel appliances. There's beautiful gas fireplaces in the common areas. The homes have really been designed with seniors in mind. So there are extra grab bars in all the bathrooms with walk-in showers. So things like that.
We got about a minute left on WTMJ's Sunday Sip. What's the mission statement of Ceriso and Capri Senior Living Communities?
Enjoy life.
I love that message.
Absolutely.
That has to be part of it. And your residents must say that every day, given all the stuff that you offer out there.
Absolutely. We really have a wonderful community of people. We'd love to have people call and learn more because there are just a few spaces left to reserve. So it's a great time to give us a call.
Katie Cornell, let's hit that website and phone number again because people are going to want to call.
Absolutely. So it's cerisocapri.com or our phone number is 262-252-9600.
How much do you love your job?
I love it. People tell me that all the time. It's a great job.
Well, it's awesome to meet you. Katie Cornell, she's the Community Relations Manager, Ceriso at Grace Commons. And, of course, Capri Senior Living Communities. And I love the word active that's in all of your communication. I love the fact that you guys are so interested in dynamic aging and the coolness of life. This has been the Sunday Sip with Katie Cornell right here on 620 WTMJ.
Thank you.
It's 9:27 and 49 degrees at WTMJ.
If you need a place for new home interior ideas, then you have to come talk to us. Our on-staff decorators know furniture, home decor, and a lot more. And they're not only creative, but also very willing to help you make great choices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Stop in often because our inventory changes daily.
Design Exchange.
Previously, it has been gently loved. But here, you'll only find very well-conditioned premium home decor items that you likely won't find elsewhere. Distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original art, and other tasteful home decor at a value. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
CertaPro Painters, transform my house. WTMJ's John Mercure here. It's absolutely beautiful. The pros came out to our house, sat down with my wife Michelle and me, weren't sure what color we wanted. They were able to walk us through specific colors for our house and for our neighborhood. That's just how they roll. For your home or business, it's CertaPro. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Call right now and ask about their spring sales event going on now through May 15th. They are quite simply absolutely the best. Each CertaPro Painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy?
Yeah,
everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts. But Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply in 4/30/2025.
A lot of people are talking still about the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan. Coming up here after the news, we're going to be talking with attorney Julius Kim about his reaction to that arrest. Right now, though, it is 9:29, and we've got Nazir Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. And what's this about another protest in Madison?
Yeah, thanks, Libby. Middle schoolers protest the Trump administration. Our partners at WISC TV reported on Friday that students at Toki Middle School in Madison walked out of class to protest the Trump administration's policies. The protests took 1 hour before school ended. Students said that protests were also aimed at supporting fellow LGBTQ classmates. The young protesters said the message they were sent to members of the public emphasized the importance of standing up for what is right. As the Trump administration targets education programs promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. One group in Madison is bucking the trend. Madison's Olbrich Botanical Gardens will be hosting a meeting for Black, Indigenous, and people of color library workers on May 20th. The Department of Public Instruction says all people are welcome to the meeting. The unconference is being hosted to help enhance the skills of the current library workforce and recruit future professionals interested in working in public information and library studies. Taking a look at the roads with the WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Ramp from I-41 894 south to I-43 south. The left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Police have arrived at the scene. They are trying to get the broken down vehicle clipped onto a hanger to kind of take into custody. It seems like there are police officers outside. Just be mindful of going on that ramp and make sure you are just mindful of that. Otherwise, there are no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy today, mostly cloudy, a few sprinkles, high 56 near the lake, 66 inland. Tonight, mainly clear with a low of 46. Monday, chance of morning showers and breezy and warmth throughout the day, and chance of PM strong storms, a high of 72 near the lake, 78 inland. Tuesday, chance of showers early in the morning, partly sunny and breezy, falling temperatures in the night, high of 68. Wednesday, partly sunny, slight chance of PM showers, and a high of 53. Thursday, rain likely, and a high of 55. Right now in Madison, it's 49 degrees. And in Waukesha, it's 47 degrees. In Milwaukee, it's 45 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:31.
Thanks a lot, Nazir. And in just a couple of minutes, we've got attorney Julius Kim talking about the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Over 60 years in business, with over 60 vehicles out in the field so we can respond ultra quickly to your emergency AC needs. When you call Quality for emergency AC service, you can count on a swift response to get the job done right away. So if the heat's got you to the point where it's just too hot to handle, call Quality and we'll get you the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Do you enjoy researching sofas before you buy?
No.
Do you compare product ratings?
No way.
Are you interested in knowing everything about your new sofa?
Absolutely not. I just want the best sofa, period.
Sounds like you want the SB261 sofa from Penny Mustard.
If it's the best sofa, then yes, that's the one.
It's our #1 bestseller.
Fine.
The SB261 sofa has a classic, exquisite look.
Great.
I've never heard anybody say a negative word about it.
I'm sold.
If the SB261 sofa was in high school, it would be voted homecoming queen and king.
I'm ready to buy.
5 stars, A+, and everyone's thumbs are up.
Stop talking and take my money.
The SB261 sofa, American made with solid wood frame, individual seat springs, unsmooshable Qualex Ultra Foam, and thousands of fabric and leather options, starting at $29.30 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
The best versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Welcome back to the final half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. Well, on Friday, Judge Hannah Dugan, Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge, was arrested on suspicion that she intentionally misdirected federal agents away from an immigrant being pursued by federal authorities. And joining us is prominent defense attorney Julius Kim. And first of all, thanks for joining us this morning, Julius.
My pleasure, Libby.
How long have you known Judge Dugan?
Boy, I've known Judge Dugan probably 10, maybe 15 years. Judge Dugan has been around a long time. She's very active in the bar. She's been active with social justice issues. So she and I have known each other for quite some time.
What's been your impression when you've been before her in the courtroom?
Judge Dugan is a serious judge. She wants decorum in the courtroom. She is a stickler for procedures. Every judge has his or her own quirks, but she wants to make sure that things are done a certain way. I think she's very even-handed, quite frankly, and I think that she does her best to try to make the best decisions in every case. And of course, we're not going to agree on every case and every decision that she makes, but I think that she is a very thoughtful judge.
Have you read the complaint against her?
I have.
All right. Taking a look, and it's very complete. It's a number of pages, and it talks about how and they were talking about how angry she was and how she was, running through the hallways. What was your impression as you read some of these things? Because it sounded quite dramatic as to what went on the day this immigrant was arrested.
Yeah, Libby, I think your instincts are correct. What was going through my mind when I was reading that complaint is that that complaint was not just drafted for the purpose of initiating criminal proceedings against Judge Dugan, but it was drafted with the very intention-filled purpose of making sure that a certain narrative is put forth out to the community. It was drafted in a way that left out, in my opinion, a lot of important details or glossed over a lot of important details. And that's normal for criminal complaints. I used to be a prosecutor also, and of course, in a criminal complaint, you're trying to establish that there's probable cause against someone, and you have to put down your facts. But it's just some of those details that you're talking about, for me, seem to be a little gratuitous and was just trying to support a certain position.
Have you talked to anybody who was there that day?
No, I haven't talked to anyone that was physically present in court that day or in the courthouse that day.
As you read that complaint and it described her coming out of the courtroom actually confronting the agents, the federal agents, do you doubt that actually happened?
No, not at all. It's no secret that the judiciary in Milwaukee County is very concerned with the notion of ICE agents coming into the Milwaukee County Courthouse to effectuate arrests because of the chilling effect that can have on cases, and not just for criminal defendants, but for all people that are coming to the courthouse to for various reasons. They could be victims of crime. They could be wanting to file a restraining order against someone. So that's not surprising at all. And in terms of just the manner in which she approached them, I think that sometimes can be a matter of semantics, quite honestly. Whether Judge Dugan was upset with them or concerned. The point is that she decided that she was going to just make sure that everything was done in a fair way and that everything was done by the book.
Okay, now so she's been charged with intentionally helping that immigrant get away. As you read that complaint and the way that she escorted him through the chambers and out a back door, did that bother you at all? That there is a sitting judge that would have helped someone get away from federal authorities?
Of course. There are certain questions that are popping through my mind, but one thing that's noticeably missing from the criminal complaint are the whys. Why did Judge Dugan do what she did? What was going through her mind? Was this administrative warrant actually legal or not? Because there are still some questions about that floating around as well, whether the officers actually had the legal authority to do what they were doing, where they were doing it. So there's so many questions going through my mind as to why this occurred that it's hard to keep yourself from jumping to conclusions because the criminal complaint has been put out there. But remember, it's only one side of the story, one side of the facts, and I want to see what else comes out there with regard to the situation.
Could there have been another way for her to handle it than to help this guy literally escape?
Well, I mean, it's arguable because she literally helped him out the door that leads right to a public hallway where there was another agent. So, again, those are just some facts that were left out of the complaint. But I think in hindsight, yes, anyone who finds themselves charged with a criminal offense is going to ask themselves whether there could have been a different way to handle the situation just because they were charged with a crime. I don't know in the end if there was a better way or if she believes there was a better way, but you could always think of different ways that the situation could have been handled, sure.
Had that been your client, would you have handled it differently?
In terms of
somehow stepping in or asking to see warrants or anything like that, because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information as to how the defendant's attorney handled this during the apprehension. Yeah,
I see. I don't know exactly what was said, obviously, between this immigrant's attorney. But it was clear that the immigrant decided to try and leave the courthouse very quickly. The irony is that the immigrant and his attorney were on the elevator with a federal agent who I don't know why the agent didn't just simply take the person into custody at that point in time. But attorneys are supposed to give people options and advice as to what they think they should do, but ultimately it's always up to the client as to what they think they should do.
We're talking to defense attorney Julius Kim about the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan. All right, as you said, you've been a prosecutor. You're now working as a defense attorney. Would you defend Judge Dugan?
Sure, of course I would in the situation. In my mind, there's no reason not to. If Judge Dugan did something wrong here, then so be it. But we have to make sure that she, in fact, did something wrong and that she did something that was criminal. And a lot of this process, a lot of the reason why defense attorneys get involved in these situations is because you have to look at the details. The devil is in the details in all of these cases. At the face of these situations, it always looks like someone is guilty or did something wrong because the narrative is only one-sided. But once you start getting into the weeds as to what happened, why she did what she did, whether these officers really had the legal authority to be there, those questions still need to be answered. But I think that attorneys should represent people in situations like this just to make sure that the system is being fair.
How do you think she'll fare in court? Do you think this is going to? Do you think these charges are going to stick?
I think that they're certainly going to try, because I think that the charges here are part of a larger narrative. That became evident to me as soon as, people like Kash Patel and Pam Boddy started hitting the media circuits and tweeting about it minutes after she was arrested. So they're certainly going to aggressively prosecute this. But I still think there are some very serious legal questions as to whether she did something illegal and whether this is ultimately going to result in a conviction or not.
It says on the docket that she's got cases tomorrow. Do you think she'll be in court?
I'm not sure. I suspect that she's not going to be in court. I suspect that Judge Ashley, who is the chief judge, may decide to give her a break or decide to maybe have someone else handle her calendar for the time being, given what's going on. I think that might be best in all honesty. In
your personal relationship with Judge Dugan, how do you think she's handling all of this, and have you tried to reach out to her?
No, I haven't tried to reach out to her just out of respect for the situation. She's got a lot on her plate right now. But I think that Judge Dugan, obviously, as any person who's charged with criminal offense would be, is scared. And I think maybe that's the message that was trying to be sent in the situation is to try and frighten people from stepping forward and maybe getting in the way if they think that something might not quite be right. But that being said, I think that Judge Dugan is a person of very strong principle. She's always advocated for the right thing and for the rights of people that are underrepresented in the justice system. So I think that while she might be nervous about the situation, I certainly think that she has very strong convictions. And if there was a good reason as to why she did what she did, she's going to stand by those convictions. It's interesting that you said she's scared. I'm just trying to be honest. I've worked with thousands of people that have been charged with crimes, and I think that's the natural reaction that everyone has. I'm just trying to keep it real here, and I think that anyone that says that they wouldn't be scared or nervous would be lying. That doesn't mean that someone doesn't think that they still have, that they were still in the right or that they still can defend themselves in the situation. But remember, this is the full strength of the federal government that's coming down on her, and there are things that are at work in this situation that are bigger than this case. This case was not issued as a result of a decision out of the Eastern District of Wisconsin. This decision to charge Judge Dugan came straight out of Washington. And when that hits you, when the reality of that hits you, of course you're going to get nervous. You're going to be nervous about that. Don't you think it would be interesting how another judge, when this actually gets to a courtroom, will treat her knowing that she is also a judge? Sure, I think that's always, going to make for interesting dynamics. But the judges are professional. Would it help or hurt? Huh? Would it help or hurt? I don't think it would be anything, because I trust that the judges and magistrate judges that she's going to be appearing in front of are going to be professional and try to be as fair as possible. I would be more concerned about how a jury would potentially react to the situation. But I think that the judges are oftentimes put in situations where it could be a little awkward, and they just try to do their best to be as professional and as neutral as they can.
Well, that's interesting where you say that it's more interesting how the jury would react. What would be your prediction of how a jury would find the judge's action?
Boy, in this day and age, it's hard to say, because it's so hard to separate a person's political beliefs, given what's been going on and given how strong people's political beliefs are these days, from the facts of the case. And so whether the evidence is strong that she in fact did something wrong here, or it's strong that she didn't, or that might have had a legitimate reason to do what she did, I think it's going to be hard for jurors to set aside their emotions about the situation in general, about immigrants in general, about the Trump administration's policies, et cetera. So those things can come into play in a jury. And I think that for that reason, it might be tough for the government to come up with 12 jurors that will unanimously find Judge Dugan guilty of anything.
I'm going to put you on the spot. If you had a client that you were taking to court and they were here in the country undocumented, and federal agents would approach you and try to take them into custody, what would be your reaction?
Well, obviously, that's something that we would prepare for. These days, any competent criminal defense attorney is going to try and figure out what a client's status is in the country. And I think that every attorney has to be prepared for this particular situation. It depends on what happens. You can't just, you're there to advocate for a client, and not just for a client, but a human being. And if federal agents are there to take someone in custody, you want to make sure that they have the lawful authority to do that. Now, that being said, I don't think that it's smart for people to, physically start fighting with people or getting in the way where people may get hurt. But you have to stand up. You have to at least say, I don't think this is right. I don't think you have the right to do that. But then maybe litigate things later on so that things don't get out of hand right then and there on the scene.
Would you help them evade the authorities?
Again, my advice is I always try and tell people what their options are, what could happen if they decide to walk away, what happens if they stay there, and then it's up to the client to decide what they want to do. In terms of actively helping someone with that, and from that situation, you could say that you're taking your professional hat off and putting your personal hat on if you try to do something like that. I feel strongly about this issue also. I could see the merits of both sides. I understand that we have to do something about immigration issues in this country. That being said, I'm just not sure about the manner in which this is all being carried out, because it seems to me like it's all being carried out more for show at this point than it is for real purposes here. This person was not a member of some notorious gang, in South America or anything like that. So that concerns me.
Defense Attorney Julius Kim, I can't thank you enough for joining us this morning.
My pleasure, Libby. Have a great Sunday.
Thanks, Julius. It's 9:48, 49 degrees at WTMJ.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You only get one chance to make a first impression, and that goes double for your home listing, because that's how you're going to get the most value. By having a customized marketing plan specific to your property with professional photos, global marketing, and the built-in experience that Century 21 Benefit Realty has brought to the table since 2004. And being joined with Century 21 just makes all of the above stand out that much more. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
It's going to be on the cloudy side today. We might have a few sprinkles. Our high is going to be 56 near the lake, 66 inland. Clear tonight, down to 46, and we've got our eye watching tomorrow. Those chance for severe weather. It'll be rain in the morning, breezy and warm. Strong storms later in the day with a high near 80 in inland areas. 49. It's 49 degrees at 9:50 on WTMJ.
So, you want to buy a house. You could go online, do your research, find the dream listing, go see it, and get catfished. Back to the drawing board. More scheduling, more viewings, more, this doesn't even look like the photos. You could finally find one that does match the photos. Then comes the offer. Stress rash? Yep, make that 3. And here's the paperwork. Yep, never-ending paperwork. It's a lot. But you don't have to do it alone. Because there's an agent who's a realtor here to guide and help protect you as you find the home that's right for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzek. Have you been to the Hounds and Tap yet? In Menominee Falls, this state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the indoor-outdoor tavern, let your dogs hang out. You can even book professional grooming services, from pedicures to full spa treatments. Every day is a play day at the Hounds and Tap. Hang out with your dog and others, or drop your dog off for doggy daycare or doggy boarding services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
A Blaine's Farm and Fleet original story.
Why is everyone coming on their riding mowers and UTVs?
I figured all the neighbors could use a break from yard work, so I invited them for
a ride-on lawnmower movie?
Or, as I like to say, a movie.
We've got the value you need to do things your way, like Livingston Seed Packets, 25% off MSRP, up to $300 off select Cub Cadet riding mowers, all backed by our service guarantee. See an associate for details. Blaine's Farm and Fleet, being original.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Sexual Assault Awareness Month is a time to listen and honor survivors. Dawn Helmrich-Newberg, who is a rape survivor right here in Milwaukee, joins us on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line. She's written about her experience in the Blue Flower Curtain, and she also now co-hosts a podcast called Shining Light on Shadows to help people with mental health issues. And Dawn, this week is Denim Day. Tell us a little bit about it and its significance.
Denim Day is actually about a woman who was raped in Italy by her driving instructor, and she did everything that she was supposed to do, and the case went all the way to the Supreme Court, to the highest court, and the judge overturned the case because the woman had to physically remove her jeans, and the Supreme Court judge said that was consent. And the women of the Italian parliament got very angry and stood on the step wearing jeans. And that came all the way into the United States and began Day to honor survivors. I think it's just so important because there's so much intentional and unintentional victim blaming that happens, and that's a really good example of what people do to put blame on the victim.
Your rape took place how many years ago?
31 years ago.
When you wrote your book, The Blue Flower Curtain, was that a bit of a release?
You know, it really was. It was very cathartic. It took me a very long time. It took me over 10 years to complete it because I actually went and got all the transcripts from my court cases so that I could authentically make sure that every piece was exactly as it happened. And that was both painful but also very healing for me, very healing.
Were there things as you looked back that you had forgotten?
Oh, yes. Yeah. The lapses in my memory, things that I was like, wow. It's odd because it was actually worse than what my mind remembered it as. And so that was pretty jarring for me.
Does that happen to a lot of victims?
So a lot of times I think when you face a trauma like that, you protect yourself. You put things kind of on a shelf. You put them away. That's why there's so many women who and men who have these experiences. And when they go to court, their story seems different because what they originally told when they first disclosed was kind of like a dump of everything that had happened. And then this protective factor comes in that kind of shields you from that kind of pain.
How do victims overcome that?
I think it's different for everybody. Some people choose to just say, okay, this is done, this is over with. I'm not, I'm just going to shelf it. Other people choose advocacy. For me, it was much more of a healing process to be able to talk about it and go out and advocate on behalf of other survivors and myself. Some people go to therapy. There's lots of different coping mechanisms. I think it all just depends upon where you are in your world at the time that happens.
In the 31 years since you were raped, things have changed. There seems to be more of an openness. People seem freer to talk about it. There's more of an understanding of not blaming victims. But do you hear ever from individuals who have never come forward?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, not that long ago, somebody reached out to me on Facebook and in my instant message and said, I'm going to disclose this to you. I've never told anyone before. I'm going to tell you, and I'm never telling anyone again. She just needed to say it once, and that was enough for her. And I think especially when you have children that were molested when they were younger, oftentimes they don't want the perpetrator to get in trouble because it might be a family member or a close family friend. They just want the abuse to stop. A lot of times they know their victim for life or their perpetrator for life, and so they never come forward.
There's a lot of help out there. Where are some of the places you would suggest people reach out to if they have been victims?
If they're an adult, they can go to the Aurora Healing and Advocacy Services. If they're a youth, they can go to Pathfinders. There are resource centers, the Latina Community Resource Center, Milwaukee LGBTQ Center. I would suggest that somebody call 211 first. That will kind of give you your menu of options, and they'll direct you to a place that will help you.
John Helmrich Newberg. The book is called The Blue Flower Curtain, about your personal experience of surviving rape. How can you get a copy of that book?
You can find it on Amazon. It's also locally at Boswell Books, but if you Google it, you can order it from any bookstore across the country. It's available.
Dawn, it's always good to hear from you. And also, we'll be listening to your podcast, Shining Light on Shadows. You talk a lot about mental health.
Yeah, it is a candid conversation about mental health.
Coming up after the news, it's the Accunet Mortgage and Realty Show with Brian and David Wickard. I'll be back at 11 with WTMJ Conversations with a Milwaukee guy who's seen all the wonders of the world.
Who's hungry? Mark your calendar April 19th through the 27th.